The history of the German Railway Class 98 articulated locomotives primarily refers to a few specific subclasses of the Deutsche Reichsbahn, DRG Class 98, which was a collective designation for various former Landebahn, state railway, branch line and tank locomotives. The most prominent articulated locomotives within the Class 98 were Bavarian BB2, DRG Class 98.7, mallet type. Origin, built for the Royal Bavarian State Railways, KBSTB, from 1899 to 1908. Design, these were mallet-type steam locomotives, specifically tank engines with an 0440 wheel arrangement. The mallet design features two independent running gears, with the rear one rigidly attached to the frame and the front one able to swivel. They were typically compound engines, using the steam first in high-pressure cylinders on the fixed rear trucks, and then in low-pressure cylinders on the swiveling front trucks. Developed for use on challenging Bavarian secondary lines that featured steep grades and sharp curves. DRG takeover. The Deutsche Reichsbahn, DRG, took over all 31 locomotives, classifying them as Class 98.7. Withdrawal. Despite their design for tight curves, they had generally poor running characteristics and high maintenance costs. Most were retired relatively early by the mid-1930s. Based on the information available for the Riverossi HO gauge model 1340, here is the likely information about the model. Riverossi HO gauge model 1340 details. Locomotive number. Often seen as 98009. Era. Typically Era 3, 1949 to 1970 for West Germany, 1949 to 1970 for East Germany. Power. 2 rail DC, direct current. Key characteristics. Type. It is a small articulated steam tank locomotive, meaning the engine carries its own fuel and water and does not use a tender. The 0440T wheel arrangement refers to two sets of 4 driving wheels, with no pilot or trailing wheels. This arrangement is sometimes associated with mallet or similar articulated designs. Historical note. This model is part of the classic line of European prototypes Riverossi produced. Models like this often have a history stretching back several decades, sometimes being sold under other brand names in the US like HM during different distribution periods. Developed for use on challenging Bavarian secondary lines that featured steep grades and sharp curves. DRG takeover. The Deutsche Reichsbahn, DRG, took over all 31 locomotives, classifying them as Class 98.7. Withdrawal. Despite their design for tight curves, they had generally poor running characteristics and high maintenance costs. Most were retired relatively early by the mid-1930s.